Yeah, thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. It's a very, very auspicious Rama Katha series. We started last Saturday. Today is the day 5. And so today we will cover the Aranyakand, the Lord exiling to the forest, and the pastimes of the Lord. It's quite amazing, quite detailed. So we'll start with praise. Today, by the mercy of the Lord, Krishna Naman, the Prabhu, and myself will try to cover as much as possible the glories and the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. It's very, very sweet, very beautiful. So I humbly request everybody can fold your hands. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Devaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya.
Om
Om Rama Rama
Ramaya
Bhadraya.
Ramaya.
Ramachandraya Vedase.
Ramachandra
Vedase
Raghunadhaya Nadhaya.
Nadaya Nadaya
Raghunadhaya Nadhaya.
Raghunathaya
Nadaya
Nathaya
Nadaya
Sridhapadaye Namo Namaha.
Sita Pataye Namo Namaha.
Namaya
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. So let me share the screen, which everybody can see upon. This is the verse number, Canto 9, Srimad Bhagavatam, verse number 10, chapter number 10 and verse number 18. Yasatyapasha parivida pidurnidesham strainasya cha visisha jagre sabharya rajyam shriyam pranayinas suhurdro nivasam tekyayayu vanam ashnu iva mukta sangaha. The word by word meaning. Yeah, Lord Ramachandra, who Satyapasha Parivitta Piduhu, of his father, who was bound by the promise to his wife, Nidesham, the order, Strainasya, of the father who was very much attached to his wife, Cha, also, Abhi, indeed, Shirasa, on his head, Jagre, Jagre accepted, Sabharya, with his wife, Rajyam, the kingdom, Shriyam, opulence, Pranayina, relatives, Suhrda, friends, Nivasam, residence, Tektva, giving up, Yayayu, went, Vanam, to the forest, Asnu, life, Iva, like, Mukta Sangaha, a liberated soul. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: carrying out the order of his father, who was bound by a promise to his wife, Lord Ramachandra left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends, well-wishers, residents, and everything else, just as liberated soul gives up his life and went to the forest with the Sita. Purport: Maharaj Dasharatha had 3 wives. One of them Kaigeyi, served him very pleasingly, and he therefore wanted to give her a benediction. Kaigeyi, however, said that she would ask for the benediction when it was necessary. At the time of the coronation of Prince Ramachandra, Kaigeyi requested her husband to enthrone her son Bharata and send Ramachandra to the forest. Maharaj Dasharatha, being bound by his promise, ordered Ramachandra to go to the forest, according to the dictation of his beloved, and the Lord, as an obedient son, accepted the order immediately. He left everything without hesitation, just as a liberated soul or great yogi gives up his life without material attraction. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karodi Vachalam Pangum Langayade Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vandem Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Sri Chaitanyamishwaram. Om Sahana Bhavadu Sahana Bhunaktum Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadidastu Ma Vidushavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Om Tat Sat Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining. So on Tuesday, Devikinandam Prabhuji was very nicely explaining the Supreme Lord Sri Rama and Lakshmana and coming to the Mithila and marrying Mother Sita. And it was very detailed, and then very jubilantly they came back to Ayodhya. So the Ayodhya Vasis were very much astonished, very much in jubilation, very much in ecstasy. They were all in both sides on long way, both sides. They put the nice flowers, they cleaned everything nicely, they put the water, they sprinkled the water, all the dust are actually removed. The path is, as it's mentioned, that it's like soft as, the ice, snow, as soft as snow, so that their, feet won't hurt. So this arrangement, the Ayodhya Vasis made in order to receive the Lord Ram and Mother Sita, Lakshmana and Urmala and Srudakirti and like that, all these new, bridegrooms and the couples. It was a very jubilant occasion. They were all in ecstasy of, they were dancing here and there. They are decorating every place and every corner. And they were in so much in happiness and joy to receive their new prince, Lord Rama. They all arrived at the Rajadhani. So then Lord Dasharatha Maharaj entered into the palace. Everybody followed. Like, it's mentioned that the king of the elephant of the king, all the other kings just like follows like that. Everybody else has their own opulences. And Lord Dasharatha and the Lord Ram, everybody entered into the palace. So then they were so much happily living for quite some time. It's mentioned that in the Valmiki Ramayana, they lived. Mother Sita lived with Ram in the palace in the Ayodhya around 12 years. So this time, Dasharatha Maharaj was so much, getting old, and Dasharatha Maharaj was eyesight is coming down, and Dasharatha Maharaj is also looking at Lord Ram, how all the subjects, all the inhabitants of Ayodhya, how they love Lord Ram. They love more than themselves. Wherever they see, they were eager to hear a word from Lord Rama because of it was so sweet. It's coming out from the mouth of Lord Rama. It's so sweet. It was very soft spoken, very soft spoken. And it is mentioned that in the scripture, Lord Ram was as wise as Brihaspati, and in the valiant and valier, and the Lord was more valiant than Indra. And it is mentioned that Lord Ram was also more tolerant than earth and soft spoken. And Lord would never see that somebody is in distress, somebody is in disappointment or sad condition. Lord never speak or like to hear anything bad about others. Lord always speaks and how to help, how to remove their distress. Lord was always looking for their people in good happiness and in healthy and trouble free. And Lord was personally going and helping everyone and in their conditions. And later we could see that how Lord was, ruled the kingdom in justice, not only for the human. Lord was not only ruling for the people of Ayodhya, but even for the animals. Even for the animals, Lord was giving the justice even to the animals. There was a nice story like this. One day, one dog came to the doorsteps of the court of the Ayodhya. That time Lord was ruling, and every day Lord goes to the courtroom and then make justice and the rulings for all the troubles and issues, in the court and the courtyard, in the court and the people around in the Ayodhya. So if anybody has anything, and Lord will very appropriately, put the justice, and likes that. So one day Lord was mentioning to Lakshmana, you go and look around that everything is over. If anybody is left over to get some justice from us. So Lakshmana went out, and Lakshmana came back and see there's nobody is out there. There's nobody is out there. So Lakshmana came back. So Lord again said to Lakshmana, you just go and search again. So this time also Lakshmana came and looked around, all around. Nobody is there, and came back. Lakshmana came back. Nobody is around, my Lord. So Lord said, go and search everything. So this time Lakshmana went out and see that there was a dog on the doorsteps. So Lord was bleeding on his head. And Lakshmana came back to mention to Lord Ram, there is a dog waiting for a justice. And Lord could speak. So Lord Ram said to Lakshmana, go and bring the dog inside. So Lakshmana went and brought the dog inside. And Lord asked, what happened? What is your problem? What's your plea? So this dog said, O Prabhu, O Lord, I was hurt by a person who was a beggar who was going, and he hit me with his stick on my head. And this, who was that person? He said he's a beggar. His name is Sadirtha Buddhi. Sadirtha Buddhi, he was a beggar. So Lord immediately sent the soldiers to grab this person, this beggar. So they captured this person and brought to the palace and the courtroom. And then Lord Ram said, what happened? So this beggar said, I was finding my food. I was begging, but I was not getting anything from anybody. I was very hungry and very thirsty. And with that frustration, I saw this dog on my way. I took my stick and hit on him. And, I'm sorry for it, but you can give me any punishment. I repent, and I am guilty for that. You can, oh my Lord, you can give me any punishment. You can. So now, Lord, one of the other qualities of the Lord Ram, Lord never take any kind of decision without counseling, without consultation from the elders and his counselors. So Lord turned to the counselors and said, what is the punishment for this Sadirtha Buddhi? And they all looked at into these Smritis and Manusmritis, and it's nowhere mentioned that how to put a proper punishment for an animal, for a person, when the dealing between an animal and a human. Yes, there is a laws between the humans, but there is no law between the human and animal. So how to do that? So then Lord turned towards everybody. Nobody had any answer. What the punishment, appropriate punishment should be. If it is mentioned that if we don't give an appropriate punishment, then we are responsible for the sins as well, because of it's not appropriate punishment. So it's very important. Taman is so wonderful and so sweet, and it's mentioned that even if you take, it should be appropriate in all respect. So here, Lord was now counseling. So nobody had any answer. Now, Lord turned to the dog. Can you give, what kind of punishment has to give to this person that to hurt you? The dog said, he thought for a minute and said, okay, make him the main priest of the Kalancha, ashram, the main priest of the Kalancha ashram. So Lord said, why is like that? It's usually if you become a head of a Kalancha ashram, so that becomes so so high post. So this dog said, I was also in that position. I was also in that position. But because of when I was in that position, the head of this mud, so then I became so much puffed up, and I was always looking for the position, and I puffed up myself, and all this when I puffed up myself, I became so forgot about the supreme and the justice, And so I was myself behaving badly, and look at my condition. So likes that, he will also get that, this kinds of punishment. So that may be the appropriate punishment for this person. So what is actually giving in this story, that if we do anything, and we also have to go through the same in that perspective. So here, Lord Ram was even giving the justice to the animal. So likes that. So wonderful, and so wise and intelligent and very powerful. So leave it like that. And Dasharatha Maharaj wanted to make Lord Ram as the prince regent, as the next king. So Dasharatha Maharaj counseled with his ministers, and Dasharatha Maharaj said, "I'm getting old, and now I don't have much power to fight with everyone. And although I can see that my son, eldest son king, is very much loved by the people of Ayodhya, and he is well capable and powerful, and I would like Lord Ram to be the next king." And Dasharatha was looking. And please tell me that, this is an appropriate decision? Is this an correct choice? If you like, if this proposal is okay, then please say yes. They say sadhu, sadhu. And otherwise, if anybody has any kind of against this proposal, then please open up so that we can discuss like that. So everybody jubilant, and everybody was in their mind that Lord will be the next, king. The Lord should be the next king, and everybody loved Lord Ram so much, and the Lord Ram's behavior, and how, and everywhere Lord Ram even so respectful for everyone, even an animal so respectful for everyone, and even birds, even trees, even the plants. It was so soft, so beautiful, and so soft in all respect and all dealings. And even Kaikeyi, Kausalya, and Sumitra, even Kaikeyi was the mother of Bharat, and Kausalya was the mother of Lord Ram, and Sumitra was the mother of the, the Lakshman and the Shatrugna. So, but here, because of the ordained this pre arrangement of the Lord, the Lakshmana was always like to serve Lord Ram. And here Bharata was always serving Lord Ram. Whenever there is an opportunity, they were competing each other, Bharat and Lakshman. And Bharata was always trying to find an opportunity to serve Lord Sri Ram. Lakshman was always serving and always following the Lord Ram in all respect to serve Lord Ram. And Shatrughna was also serving Bharat, that because of Bharat serving the Supreme Lord Sri Ram. So this was the relationship between the Lord Ram and his brothers. And Kaigeyi, Kausalya, and Sumitra. Kaigeyi was very much fond of Ram, and everybody loved Lord Ram. Without that, there is no distinction, there is no difference between each of them. They loved each other as same, as one entity, not separate. And Lord Dasharatha was so happy with this all, in the palace, everybody loving each other. And this was the going on in even in the Ayodhya Vasis. They all love each other, and this was actually passing out to the people. Everywhere joy, everywhere loving affairs between everybody and respecting. And this is called Rama Rajya. This is called the beautiful, the place. So here, Dasharatha was then decided, everybody was so fond, everybody unanimously said, Sadhu, Sadhu, Lord Ram, long live Lord Ram, long live Lord Ram ki jai, Lord Ram ki jai. This was spread around, and even Dasharatha was turned to Lord Ram and requested Lord Ram, please take the throne. So that is continue this dynasty, this Ishwagu dynasty. So Lord Ram just smiled and past that the acceptance of it. And it is, if it is your desire, oh Lord, oh Father, oh my dad, oh Father, if it is your desire, so be it. So Dasharatha was so jubilant, and immediately Dasharatha arranged all the arrangements for the coronation, without any delay, because of Dasharatha wanted to see that Lord Ram to be on the throne, because of that this is the appropriate and the right decision for him. And this was Dasharatha was longing for many years. Dasharatha called Vasishta, the sage, and to order, to request her to prepare all the arrangements, and the news spread out and everywhere. And everybody was, the citizens were so jubilant, and they were in joy, they were coming out, they were dancing, and they were jubilant. And Lord Dasharatha decided to coronate on the next day morning. So news spread around, but the news went to the Mandara. Mandara was the maidservant for Kaigeyi. And even Kaikeyi, when Kaigeyi heard the news, Kaigeyi was so jubilant. And this is the time Mandara came to the room of Kaigeyi and mentioned that, "Oh, stupid lady, you're foolish. What you hear? Why are you sitting here like this? Your son Bharat is away. Now purposefully Dasharatha is making Lord Ram to be the next king, and think about your condition. What would be your condition?" But Kaikeyi was smiling to the Lord Ram, that Mandara said that, "Oh Mandara, Lord Ram is my son. I don't have any difference, Mandara. Lord Ram is my son." And even Kaikeyi took out a necklace, and in order to give that, when Mandara brought out this good news, there is a custom that if somebody brings some good news, give the something valuable to the those who are bringing the good news. And Kaikeyi brought, took out the necklace and gave it to Mandara. Mandara threw that down. "I don't need any of these things. I don't need. What are you, stupid lady, foolish lady?" Because of Mandara had very much power, because of Mandara was serving Kaikeyi was very nicely, and Dasharatha Maharaj was very much accepted the service of the Mandara and accepted the position. So everybody was even respecting. It is a hunchbacked lady, but respecting Mandara. So Kaikeyi was also feeling that because of her love to Kaikeyi, that Mandara is seeing. And now Kaikeyi is saying that, "If this was somebody else, I would have punished them. But Mandara, what are you talking? Lord Ram is my son." So Mandara started to now brainwash Kaikeyi. "Kaikeyi, you look, you think about it. Now Lord Dasharatha so much loves you, so much fond of you, always comes to you. Now think about that, when Lord Ram become the king, then think about that. Lord, Lord Ram's mother Kausalya became more favor for the Dasharatha, for favorite for the Dasharatha. Think about your position. Think that Bharat is your son is not here. This is all Dasharatha's plan to make Lord Ram to be the king, but not even considering Bharat. And this is a treachery, and this is not acceptable for you. Your condition will be like a servant in this palace, and you should not accept this. You should not agree with this condition, these plans of Dasharatha, King Dasharatha." And Kandara was brainwashing like anything. And then Kaikeyi slowly started to think, yeah, now Kausalya would be the most favorite for my lord Dasharatha. That's kind of created an ego into the mind of Kaikeyi. And what would happen? Eventually, I would also go down, and my power, everything go down, and then everybody started to reject me. And what would be my condition? So here, Mandara brainwashed Kaikeyi, and then Kaikeyi started to think opposite. Yes, what would happen to me if this is all true? It's all become true, but there is no chance in all sense. But Mandara's power, and it is mentioned that in the Valmiki Ramayana, this was all on a sudden happen. This was all on a sudden happen. This was the arrangement of the gods. This was the arrangement of the gods. So then Mandara brainwashed Kaikeyi, and Mandara gave this method, this way to Kaikeyi, that yes, you just remove all your jewels, all your necklaces, all jewels, and put it down. You just wear one cloth, and you just lie down on the floor and then cry. And then Dasharatha come, you talk to Dasharatha like this way. And then Mandara said, "You remember, Dasharatha gave you two promises when you were with Dasharatha in the heaven fighting against the Asuras. Now this is the time you ask that boon back from Dasharatha. And then what should I do, Mandara?" Then ask, now, if make sure that Bharata would be the king, and also make sure that Lord Ram should not be around this place, around this palace, around even this country, and send Lord Ram to the forest. And Kaikeyi was somehow convinced, and then Dasharatha came that night, and then all this ordeal was happened, and Kaikeyi was so much adamant, and as soon as Dasharatha heard this from the mouth of Kaikeyi, Dasharatha was trembled and fall down like flat like a road and crying, and there is, what are you talking? What are you talking to me, Kaikeyi? Is this a situation? I thought that you loved Ram. Now you are taking all this opportunity to make your son Bharat. And Kaikeyi was not even accepting anything and not even hearing any word from Dasharatha. And then finally, Kaikeyi requested, and not requested, demanded, I need to fulfill that the vow you made to me, the boon you gave to me. You remember that we went to the heavenly planets and fought. That time I helped you and you gave me a boon. I need to fulfill that boon now. So Dasharatha asked, what is the boon? Okay, the first boon is my son Bharata would be the king of this Ayodhya. And Dasharatha couldn't say anything. And here, look here, the next one. Send Lord Ram 14 years into the forest. And Lord Dasharatha became so much astonished, so much upset, and so much broke down. And Dasharatha asked, why you want to send Lord Ram to the forest? Dasharatha Kaikeyi said, yes, I want send to Lord Ram to be forest, not nearby. It would be a threat for my son. This was the Mandara's advice. So then it's all happened, and then Dasharatha couldn't talk anything. Dasharatha was now in full of tears, and Dasharatha was talking to Kaikeyi, such like, I could see that you are now enemy now. You are so much of poison, so much of treachery, and how can you trust a woman like this? How can I trust a woman like this? And so much, but there is nothing Dasharatha can do. And Kaikeyi was saying that you are the dynasty, you are the, your forefathers were the great kings. And if you want to keep the name of this dynasty, you have to fulfill this. So then somehow they passed the night, and next day morning, Lord Ram and Sumandra came to receive Lord Ram for the coronation, and every preparation is arrangement is done. And Sumandra came to receive Lord Ram, and Lord Ram came into the chariot, in the palanquin and the chariot, and Lord Ram coming to the palace of Dasharath, and both the sides, the people were so much in astonishment, so much happily and jubilantly receiving and looking at from the rooftops and everywhere the Lord Ram, that the glowing and the Lord Ram. And then Lord Ram came to the palace of Dasharath. There, Lord Ram couldn't see Dasharath and felt something is wrong. And Lord Ram came to the palace of Dasharath. There, Lord, so that Dasharath was in distress and disappointment and in tears. And Lord requested Sumandra what happened. And this time Kaikeyi intervened. Oh, Lord Ram, Dasharath would not talk anything now for behalf of him. Let me speak. And this all created by the by the uh, by the arrangement of your father. And your father would have made my son Bharat with the king. This would not have happened. And listen here, this is what is I need, and this is what is your father desires. You have to go to the forest for 14 years in exile, and my son Bharat will be the king. And Lord Ram very pleasingly, and didn't change anything, didn't touch anything to Lord Ram. Lord Ram very pleasingly, smilingly accepted. If this is the desire for my father, this is the desire for my mom, Kaikeyi, my mother, Kaikeyi, I would accept 1,000 times. There is no worries about it. I'm ready to go. I am ready to do any service, anything which you command upon. I'm ready to take any service. So Lord Ram, then, there are so much to detail is there in the Ramayana, but, we don't have time much for it. So then Lord Ram accepted. So this time Lord Ram first came to the uh, room of Kausalya, quarters of Kausalya. And there Kausalya was eagerly waiting for Lord Ram to come, and to get the blessings of Kausalya. And Kausalya knew that the coronation is going to happen. But Lord Ram came and touched the lotus feet of Mother Kausalya and told to Mother Kausalya, Mother, Mother, please bless me to go to forest. Please bless me to go to the forest. So your blessings will have more strength than anything in this world. And Lord Ram was pleading to the Kausalya Devi. Kausalya heard this going to the forest, and then Lord Ram explained, yes, my father, he decided to me to go to the forest, and Mother Kaiyegi desired me to go to the forest, and I would prepare to go to the forest. And Kausalya was broke down and shattered and fall flat, and Lord Ram, took from the bottom and then somehow got some strength. And there was lots of discussion between Lord Ram and Mother Kausalya. There were dialogues, so beautiful, so nice. And then Lord Ram came to the Mother Sita. Mother Sita was eagerly waiting and to see that Lord Ram coronated with the throne, with the crown, and then all these majesties of the palaces and the servants and all followed. And when Lord Ram came alone, Mother Sita said, "Where is all this? Your crowns and the thrones and the umbrellas and the palanquins and the servants? What happened? Please tell me." So Lord Ram said to Mother Sita, Side, my father wanted me to go to forest. My mother Kayeyi also desired me to go to the forest, and I am prepared to go. So Mother Sita shattered and broke down and fall down, and tears come down. What is going on and what is happening? So Lord Ram convinced Mother Sita what is. So Mother Sita was very much now taking the opportunity and then said to Lord Ram, "O Lord Ram, you are my husband, and the wife's duty is always to serve the Lord Ram in any condition, any distress condition, any good condition or any bad condition. Always the duty of a wife is to serve her husband in all respect, in all time. So please give me that opportunity wherever you are. If you are in the heaven, if you are in the hell, it's both same for me, O Lord. If I get an opportunity to serve you, doesn't matter. It's both are good. All I need is to serve you, Lord Ram. Whether hell or heaven is all equal to me. But wherever you are, that's my paradise. That's my place where that I get the most happy and joyous. And Lord Ram was trying to convince Mother Sita not to come to the forest, the full of ferocious animals and the snakes and the spiders and the thorns and stones and so many, and the paths are not clear. You will have to suffer the thirst and the hunger and the heat and the cold and open air. You have to sleep. And Lord Ram was trying to convince Mother Sita not to go to the forest. But Mother Sita was in tears and crying and catching the lotus feet of Lord Ram. Please don't leave me alone. This is my desire. Even it's mentioned that Mother Sita was saying, in my horoscope, it was mentioned that one day I would also live in the forest. And this is now seems like coming true. Lord Ram, don't leave me. And that time the Kausalya was there, Sumitra was there, Mother Sita was pleading to all the mothers, Kausalya and Sumitra, please tell Lord Ram to take me along with me also to Lord Ram. And this time Lakshman was also saying, don't leave me alone, Lord Ram, O Lord. I am your servant. I am your eternal servant. I cannot live without you. I don't have anything to do without you. So please don't. So finally, Lord Ram agreed to take Lord Mother Sita and Lord Lakshman along with, to the forest. So now all the arrangements made, they completely removed all the clothes, all the jewels, all the opulences. They just wear one ascetic clothes, the saffron cloth. And Lord Ram already said that you have to live in the forest like an ascetic. And that's Mother Sita was agreed anything. And Mother Sita was with, the with painfully taking this and receiving the instructions. And then Mother, Lord Ram and touched the lotus feet of Mother Kausalya. They were all in tears, and Mother Sita and Lakshman, they were slowly entered into the chariot and started to slowly move. And this time, Dasharatha was looking, and Asunas and Dasharatha was completely forgotten everything. And Dasharatha was looking at the Lord Ram is going and stood there for so many hours. And Dasharatha was not in this world and completely broken, completely shattered and shaken. And then Lord Ram was leaving to the forest like this. And all the Ayodhya Vasis, they were in tears, they were beating their hands on their chest, they were rolling in the ground. They cannot speak, they cannot separate from the Lord Ram, they cannot feel the separation from the Lord Ram. They all gathered, they all followed Lord Ram and Lakshmana and Mother Sita. They followed and followed and followed, and the days come into end, and the night slowly started, and they were all on the field, and Lord Ram and Lakshmana and Mother Sita came to the Ganges, and they were sleeping there. So immediately after this long journey, Mother Sita tired and got sleep, and Lord Ram also, as he's sleeping, just lie down, and Lakshman was woke up, woke up, and Lakshman was always awake and then guarding everybody together. And all on a sudden, in the midnight, Lord Ram woke up and told to Lakshman, "Oh Lakshman, now if we don't leave now, everybody is going to follow us, and that won't be good for us." And this, and so it's also Lord mentioned to Lakshman, and Lakshman told to Sumandra, "Please prepare the chariot. We would leave right now." So they left the middle of the night. It's so far to go to the dawn, and they left the middle of the night. And even in that night itself, they traveled quite long time. And then after the dawn came, the people from the Ayodhya, they were woke up. They saw Lord Ram, their beloveds, Lord Ram, Lakshman, and Mother Sita is not there. They were thought that there are lots of things were there, and they thought that they would burn all this, and they would enter into the fire, and they would die themselves there itself. But then they thought, you know it is an injustice to Lord Ram if you do that. So then they painfully they returned back. Now Lord Ram, Lakshman, Mother Sita came to the bank of the Ganges, and before that they met a Guha. Guha is actually the tribal king, and Lord Ram received the welcoming. Guha welcomed Lord Ram and received all the wonderful receptacles, and then Guha made an arrangement to stay there, and Lord Ram then mentioned that I would sleep under the tree there, and Lord Ram slept under the tree, and then you know what Lakshman, even Lakshman even sleep, actually didn't sleep at all, even underneath. And whenever Lord Ram, if it is equal, then Lakshmana wouldn't stand like that. Lakshmana would dig down and always stand below of the Lord Ram. This was the dedication for the Lord Lakshmana to the Lord Ram. So then they came to the Bharadwaja Muni the next day. They crossed the boat, and there is a kevad, nice pastimes. You all know that the kevad, the boatman, requesting the Lord Ram to touch the lotus feet of the Lord Ram, pretending that, disguising that, I don't know anything. But boatman said that I heard about that when you touched on a stone, that stone become a human being. And then this boatman was telling to Lord Ram, what would happen, O Lord, if you touch this boat, and if that would become a woman, how would I live? So please allow me to touch your dust and remove the dust from your lotus feet so that my boat will remain same. So Lord understood and smiled at the covered, the boatman, and Kurdman touched the lotus feet of that's good itself. And Keved was in tears and said that, oh Lord, this is the millions of lifetime after that, my life's perfection, that I am able to touch your lotus feet. And then boatman took Mother Sita, Lakshman, and Lord Ram to the opposite side of the Ganges, and they went into the forest. They walked long and long, and then they came to the ashram of Bharadwaja Muni. So Bharadwaja Muni was very much heard about, and very much waiting for the Lord Ram. And as soon as Bharata Muni was seeing that Lord Ram, Lakshman coming, Bharata Muni came forward and received them, and gave all the hospitalities, and then they took a rest from there. And Bharata and Lord Ram checked and inquired from Bharata Muni, where is the best place that we can go there. Lord Bharata Muni then mentioned to Lord Ram that there is from 50 miles further eastern side of this place there is a Trikuta Parvat. That is the best place. There is no much ferocious animal won't come. There is everything is there. You go and stay there. So the next day morning, they walked to the Trikuta mountain, and then they arrived at the Trikuta mountain, and they saw the beautiful place of the Trikuta. And Bharata Muni also mentioned one thing, that in long time ago, the sage Valmiki's hermitage was here, and this was the place Valmiki was hunting, has become a hunter and a thief, and Valmiki was wandering around this place of the Kurkut. There, the Narada Dev came and sages came, and then finally Narada instructed to Valmiki to chant the Mara, Mara, Mara. And the sages, Narada knows that what is the beauty, what is the name of the Lord, and then eventually Valmiki, the Reknagar, the hunter, the thief, was known as Reknagar. Reknagar was sitting in between to the two trees and say Mara Mara. Then that became Rama, and eventually that Reknagar became the Valmiki. That hermitage was there, so you can go and stay there. And Lord Ram went there and went there. And this time Bharat came back from the Kushadvaja, Kushastali, and came back to the Ayodhya and understood all these ordeals and what happened, one treachery happened to the, and Bharat was so angry and so much ferocious and so much in distress. And my Lord Ram, my worshipable Lord Ram, my mother, sent him to the forest. What kind of mother, my mother? And I would not even look at my mother. Bharat was rejecting Kaikeyi. And then now Bharat was actually also decided to go and meet Lord Ram, and to make him understand and bring back Lord Ram to the Ayodhya. And this is the time after a few days, and Lord Bharat Maharaj and all the Sumandra and all inhabitants, even Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumatra, by this time Kaikeyi also understood that I made a mistake, and now I am nobody in this palace. Initially, Mandra advised that Kaikeyi, you would become the queen. Now Bharat is rejected the kingship, and now Kaikeyi is no more. Kaikeyi is kind of completely gone down. Kaikeyi understood that what all this plan is kind of foiled. There is no use of anything. Now Kaikeyi is also completely came down and asked for the forgiveness. And then they also followed Bharat. They all came to Chitrakoot, and Bharat came and requested to Lord Ram, please come back. Please come back. I cannot do anything without you, Lord Ram. You are our Lord. You are our supreme. You are our everything. How can I rule the kingdom? I don't have any intention. I don't have any desire to do anything unless to serve you, Lord Ram. Now there is no way. So the Dasharath Maharaj, sorry, the Sri Ram wanted to, what to do, and then also invited Janaka Maharaj there to take a decision. So Janaka Maharaj came to the Trikuta, and there Janaka Maharaj and they consulted each other. And then Janaka Maharaj, the Lord Ram, very much clear to Janaka Maharaj, I have to follow, I have to complete the desire and the words of my father. And this time in Ayodhya, Dasharath was passed away, and this all actually shattered everybody. Even Kaikeyi has no other way, and everybody kind of came down like this. And then we all know that Lord didn't accept the proposal, and Janaka Maharaj also agreed with Lord Ram. And this is the Maryada, this is the Dharma, this is the Dharma to follow the orders of the father and the mother, and that is the utmost Dharma. Lord Ram is to upkeep the Dharma. There is no way that Lord Ram could return. But now, Bharata, there is no way. So then Bharata requested Lord Ram, please give me your shoes. I would take these shoes back to Ayodhya, and I don't need. I would represent, these shoes will represent yourself, and I would rule as behalf of them, and I would not stay even to the palace, and I would go to the nearby place. and Nandigram. There I will have a hermitage and I would sleep on the floor. Oh, just for the sake of the people of the Ayodhya, then I would actually just on behalf of your that I would rule the kingdom. And we remember that in Kerala there is a Padmanabha Dasa. They were ruling the kingdom on behalf of the Lord. Padmanabhadasa, anything, Tripadi, they were known as anything sign they put it as, they took it as a Tripadi Dhanam. Tripadi, that means this is from the Lord, this is from the Lord, likes that. So it was there, it was there. So then Bharat Maharaj came back with the slippers for the shoes of the Lord Ram. And then they decided now it is further dangerous. Now everybody knows that everybody is going to come. They now further, they moved from there. Then they came to the Sarabhanga. There is a sage called Sarabhanga, and it is a great story actually. Sarabhanga, when they approached the sage, the rishis, the sage's hermitage, there Lord Ram saw that Indra is actually sitting on the palanquin and on the chariot, and not touched on the ground but on the air, and it's so glorious and so much of the glowing, the light is like a sun is glowing, is lighting, and so glorious and so glowing. And then this is the time Lord Ram came to the hermitage of Sarabanga, and Sarabanga was waiting even for the Lord Ram. And Indra came down to receive, to bring the Sarabanga. Sarabanga was a great rishi and great sage, and all these years was so much of penance and tapas, and now ready. The Indra came down to receive Sarabanga to bring to the Brahma Loka. That's why this Indra came down with the chariot. But Sarabanga said to Indra that I'm not coming now. I'm waiting for somebody. And I see as soon as this more than that, as soon as I see my Lord, I would come. So Sarabhanga was waiting for Lord Ram, and Lord Ram came to the hermitage here. And Sarabhanga, as soon as saw and gave Lord Ram, of course, gave all the respect and touched at the fort, touched the lotus feet of the Sarabhanga, sage Sarabhanga, followed the feet, and then Sarabhanga said, "This is the moment I was waiting for, Lord Ram." So here Sarabhanga said, "Now I can leave." So Sarabhanga, before that, Sarabhanga said, "Now you have to, from 4 yojana, from 40 miles from here, there is a hermitage called Sudishna. You go there, you will get all the arrangements there." So then after Sarabhanga just entered into the fire, and as if Lord can see that all the mortal body is actually burned in the fire, but the glowing, that soul which is transformed, which is actually came out from the fire and ascending to the heavenly planets for the Brahma Loka, Lord could see that. Then they came to the Sudishna, the ashram of the Sudishna, and Sudishna and the wife, they they received the Lord Ram very much, and then Mother Sita and the Patni of wife of Sudishna, and they gave all the fruits and fall. Everything was so nice, so wonderful, and then they received like that, and then they stayed there for a few days, and then again they were walking towards, they were walking and further, and many sages they came across, and then they finally, this was almost, it's mentioned that you know this sages, Udishna was showing that these rakshasas, this evil, this the gobblers and these rakshasas, this evil, all the people, they were actually coming down and killing the sages and rishis, and thousands of dead bodies here and there, and their bones and everything. Sudishna was showing to the Lord Ram, and Sudishna was requesting Lord Ram, you are there to protect us. Please protect us from this all evil, these Rakshasas, and so that we can continue our dharma. Here, Lord Ram is there for to protect all of them and protect all of them. And then, and always, keeping the bows and arrows and Lakshmana. So this time, this days as years now passed, and they were moving in the forest, and they were living along with the sages. Every day, Lord Ram was serving the sages, and they were getting the association. Lord Ram was so happy, and they were actually so attracted to Lord Ram, the beauty of the Lord Ram, the beautiful big eyes. Lord Ram was so tall, and the beautiful color, and always so glowing and so glorious, and they were all attracted to the Lord Ram just by seeing the Lord Ram. And here, one day, Mother Sita asked to Lord Ram, Lord Ram, according to the Nidhi Shastra, Dharma Shastra, it is mentioned that one who is actually more selfish and lusty or desirous, they would do three things. One is actually, in order to fulfill their own selfish desires, they would always talk inappropriately. They would talk untruth. So in order to do that, so that way they would always do that. But you are not like that. You are always truthful. You are always satyavan, no nothing, and there is not even a single word that which not pleases anybody else. Always soft spoken, but it is not the case for you. But the second thing is actually you are always very much devotional, very much in dharma for all the people, and there is nothing and nobody can even point or spot one kind of fault in you. But, oh Lord, because of I love you, because of you are my Lord, one thing I would like to say to you, that why are you killing all these innocent, all these people? This is not the code of conduct of Dharma, because if somebody attacks you, or then you have to do that. But unnecessarily, why are you killing all these Rakshasas? So Mother Sita was in such a love for the Lord Ram, and Mother Sita thought that unnecessarily kill anybody that would create the hell for them. So then Lord Ram understood, oh Sita, I understood your love for me. You have love for me, that's you are telling to me. But this is a great topic, and this is the great discussion between Lord Ram and Mother Sita. Lord said that, yes, I know that, but this is a duty of a Kshatriya, and not only this duty of a Kshatriya, even without requesting to us as a Kshatriya, as a prince, that I should protect them. I should protect these sages. They were struggling, they were doing their penance, their tapas, dharma for so many years, and they wanted to continue that. And it's my duty that anything against the adharma, that to protect, the dharma, anything against agana, that is my duty, that I should protect all these sages. And that's my nature, that's my duty. Even without asking them, I should protect. But then think about that, they are all requesting us to protect them, then it is my duty to protect them. Now, Mother Sita is convinced and understood that what is the Lord Ram is doing is for others. And it is mentioned that even Lord Ram is coming in forward to receive and to take the service from all these devotees. See, Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dushkridam. Lord is coming down to even protect the devotees, protect the sages and the munis. They were always in worship of the Supreme Lord. Here, Lord is even come down, and this was the desire of the Lord, even come down to protect the sages and get the association of the devotees. This is exactly the teachings of our all scriptures, dear devotees, that Lord is eager to receive, Lord is eager to serve his devotees. Lord is eager to serve his devotees in all respect, and Lord comes down, and that is the most joyous for the Lord. And Lord can do anything to serve the devotees. Doesn't matter whether it's in the forest, sleeping on the floors, sleeping on anywhere, not even eating properly, not even sleeping properly, not even dressing properly, not even drinking properly. Lord is there to serve his devotees, and this is what is exactly the Lord's mission, and Lord's always wandered from his devotees. So that we can see from this Valmiki Ramayana. Then we know that the Lord was saying to Mother Sita that there are so many sages. Some are, taking such a penance that they don't even eat. Some are actually doing a penance in the midst of the fire. Some are just on the stand waiting, doing penance for years. Some are just chanting the holy name Ram, 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 Rama for many years. And this world, we can see that. And Lord was so dear to such devotees. One would take even a single step for the Lord Ram. It is mentioned that Lord is very dear to the Lord, such devotees. So then further, they came further to this. As in the 10th year of their exile in the forest, they came to the Agastya Muni. And there is wonderful discussion between Agastya Muni and Lord Ram. Lord Ram was serving the Agastya Muni in such a way that, and then Agastya Muni and Lord Ram requested now, could you kindly show me a place where we can go? And Agastya Muni said that is from here there is a place nearby. It's like 50 miles away from here. It's a beautiful place. There are ample fruits and the rivers and the water and the trees. And no, there is no much animals, and it's a beautiful place. This place is called Panchavadi. So then, with the due respect and with the instructions of Agastya Muni, they came to the Panchavadi, and there they saw the Jadayu, and they saw Jadayu, a big, gigantic a bird sitting on a tree, big tree, gigantic bird. And Lakshmana thought that this is some demon, some Rakshasas is disguised in the form of a. And Lakshmana was trying to shoot the arrow, but Lord Ram stopped Lakshmana. Let us inquire from this. And this bird was speaking, and this Jadayu, this bird was speaking, Lord Ram, oh Lord Ram, I am your father's friend. I'm not harm for anybody. I'm your father's friend. As soon as Lord Ram heard the name Father, all the remembrance came to the Lord Ram. And then Lord Ram paid the obeisances. Now Jadayu started to talk about the lineage of Jadayu. Jadayu is actually the son of Aruna. Aruna Dev. Aruna was actually the sons of Vinita. Um, and likes the Kadru, and it's likes that. And then Jedi was so powerful and so big, but became very old. And the two brothers were there. One is Sambadi and Jadayu. And Jadayu said that you live here. I will also have a protection for Mother Sita and Lakshmana. And in between there was a great battle happened between. Then we can see that. So here now they were living there, and this is the time Shurpanaga, the demoness, was wandering into this forest and saw that the beauty of Lord Ram, and Shurpanaga as a Rakshasi, as a demoness, and thought that I can have anything I want. This is also the character of the selfish and desirous and demonous people, that they think that I can do anything I want in this world. So here Shurpanaga came to Lord Ram and said that, oh, you are so beautiful. I am the sister of Ravana. You must have heard about that. Ravana ruled the kingdom of Lanka, and everything is there. He defeated, he was conquered over the heavens, everybody. And now he is the ruler of this. He is the ruler of this entire planet. And I am her sister. If you come with me, you can have all the enjoyments. Why are you wandering in this forest with this lady? And who she is? She's a human, and but I am a Rakshas, I have more power, and you come and live with me. And Lord Ram was smiling and said to Shurpana, oh lady, oh lady, that I'm already married and I took a vow that I will not marry again. My brother is here, he is not married, and please approach him. So now this is also all on a sudden demoness Rakshasi Shurpanaga changed, and she then approached Lord Ram, sorry, Lakshman. Lakshman said, Surpanaga, then, yes, I would accept, I would have accepted you, but what to do? Actually, I took a vow that I would serve only I won't take any other wife, but all my service and with is to the lotus feet of Lord Ram. I can't do anything. So then, my Lord Ram, he maybe accept you. You can go to Lord Ram and request again. So the Shurpagana was doing like this, and Lord Lakshmana was smiling. And all on a sudden, then Shurpagana thought that the mother Sita is actually the hindrance in between, that one of Lord Ram couldn't accept, Shurpanaga. So immediately Shurpagana tried to attack Mother Sita. This time Lakshmana took his sword and cut the nose and the ears of Shurpanaga and pushed, and she was thrown, and such a force, and she was cried and loudly and ran away from that place and reached to the Janasthala where there is Kara and Dushna. They were the brothers of Shurpanaka. And then Shurpanaka told all this what happened, and then Kara and Dosha and Trishira all came one by one with the armies and all. And that's the time, even within 1 hour, 14,000 armies came, and Lord Rama killed everybody. Lord Rama killed everybody, and Lakshmana was protecting Mother Sita. And Lord Rama alone killed 14,000 in within an hour and came back, and they were all became so much in joy that Lord Ram could destroy all this evil. And then Surpanaka didn't sit, just like that. Surpanaka went to the Ravana and told all what is happened. Now, Ravana actually thought, now Shurpanakha just kind of trying to convince, there are a lot of discussion in between, but due to the time, actually, I'm just not going further. So then Shurpanakha convinced Ravana. Then Ravana came to Marija first that, to take the help. But Marija said, oh, Ravana, you are fool. Who advised you to, who is your enemy as an advisor that advised you to fight with Ram? You will be destroyed yourself. You destroy entire Lanka. You destroy entire dynasty. Never even think about it. And then Ravana then went back, but somehow again Surpanaka convinced, and Ravana came back to marriage. If you don't follow my order, that then I will kill you. And Marija was trying to convince them not to do that. But when Ravana said that I would kill you, then Marija thought that, instead of getting killed by this Rakshasa, this Ravana, and by this time Marija also became the bhakta, the devotee of the Lord Ram. And he was even calling out the Lord's name. And Marija thought that even instead of killing from the hands of Ravana, then better to kill from the hands of Lord Ram. So Lord Ram and this time Lakshmana they were nicely living in a nice hermitage in Panchavadi. That day, one day, Marija came as disguised as a golden deer, and then walking along the passages in the nearby forest. And Mother Sita saw that this golden deer, and then Mother Sita all on a sudden had a desire to get this golden deer. And Lakshmana told already, this is not a real deer, and there could not be possible like this. This may be some of Rakshasas disguised in this. And Marija was there. He was very capable of doing it. But Lord Ram didn't take much of that. And Mother Sita was insisting, Lord Ram, go and please capture. And when we go back to Ayodhya, this was the nice gift so that we can bring back to the Ayodhya so that everybody will be so surprised. And Mother Sita was thinking like that way. And Lord Ram went to get the golden deer. So here, this Marija, this golden deer, then ran away, ran further and further. Lord Ram took further. And then this was a plan of the Ravana that Lord Ram shoot an arrow. And in that time, this Marija then just, cried with a loud noise, loud words that, oh, Sita, oh, Lakshmana, save me, save me. And this was heard by Mother Sita and Lakshmana. And Mother Sita was in distress, and something happened to my Lord, my Prabhu. And Lakshmana, you go. And before Lord Ram left, to instruct to Lakshmana, never leave Mother Sita. I will handle this. But this time, Mother Sita was insisting and used that, and Lakshmana said, I know Lord Ram is, nobody in this world can defeat Lord Ram. And what? Don't and don't worry about anything. Don't worry about anything. Lord Ram could handle all this. And then what happened? This Marija and Lord Ram went away, and Mother Sita was so much insisting and even started to use the language that you are not following. You have some bad desire in your heart. You wanted to get me. That's why you're not going. Now you may be happy that if Lord Ram kills, so you can accept me, you can take me. All these words, Lakshmana was broken like anything, and I never heard such words. This is but Lakshmana was saying that this is the nature of the woman, that in these situations they cannot be steady and they don't speak steadily in all respect. And this was so. Mother Sita was insisting like anything. And then what happened? No, and there is no way that Lord Lakshmana could hold off. And Lakshmana actually drew a line that's called Lakshmana Rega and instructed to Mother Sita, don't come out of it. And this time Ravana was making a plan to grab Mother Sita. And when Lakshmana went away, Ravana came in disguise of a muni, as a brahmana, and using the shoes and the sutariya and the kamantalu and all. And then Mother Sita saw, and as soon as Mother Sita saw a Brahmana as a sage, and it's a custom, it's a duty of a natural human, that whoever comes to the doorsteps and offer something and offer some bhiksha, likes that. And then all on a sudden, this Ravana could not enter after this Lakshmana Rekha, these lines which draw by the Lakshman. And then, but the Ravana, in disguise of a sage and a muni, requested Mother Sita, I am hungry. Give me something. I cannot come further. I am not. So please come up to me. And Mother Sita was innocently believed this. And then Ravana captured and disguised in the all. Ravana is now turned to his original form and huge demon, and then its sword in his hand, and then then took away Sita. That's when Jadayu actually came in between. And then Jadayu was promised to keep an eye on Mother Sita. This time Jadayu was on sleep. And so that this huge noise there, and Jadayu woke up from his sleep, and then immediately saw that, and Mother Sita was crying for Jadayu, Tadha, father, please save me, and please inform this to Lord Ram and Lakshman that this wicked king is actually capturing and grabbing me and taking to the Lanka. And Jedi didn't have any much time. Jedi thought that if I go and instruct Ram, then what will happen? It will time won't be there. So Jedi tried to stop Ravana, but couldn't. And Ravana actually cut off the wings of the Jadayu, and Jadayu fall down. And this time Lord Ram and Lakshman came back and saw that the most the disappointing and the most distress situation happened, and Sita is not there anymore. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I just saw that the time is just a little over. Thank you so much for dear devotees for patiently listening this. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. I would pass to Krishna Namananda Prabhu. Please take further on the pastimes of the Lord Ram. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji. I just.
Thank you very much, Simedha Prabhu. Everybody is able to hear me? Here? You're able to hear? Voice is coming or no?
Yes, Prabhuji. Haribol.
Yes, very good.
Okay, thank you. Om Jnanatmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chukshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Sri Gurum Devatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Vishnu ki jai. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, everybody can be on mute. Thank you. Okay. So, this is the first time I am speaking on the Ram Navami. Are you able to see me? I'm seeing a blank screen.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can see you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm first time speaking. Please bless me so that I can speak, which will purify me, and it will benefit all of us. Thank you. So first of all, let us understand what is Ramayana means, what it entails, or what it is instructing from the word Ramayana itself. There are many meanings Acharyas explain, but one meaning I could literally take it, which is very meaningful, and it can help if we can implement that. So Rama and Ayan. Ayan means just like if we have Uttarayan, Dakshinayan, when sun is entering into right now in Uttarayan, when the Sankranti happens. So sun is rotating in 6 months in Uttarayan, 6 months Dakshinayan. So same way, Lord Rama, in one meaning of Ayan is traveling or journey, but another meaning also, just like the sun is giving its rays and more time during the Uttarayan, whichever is in the Uttarayan direction, those places will get more daylight time. So here it is basically inferring that one who follows throughout the year, 365 days, not just one day, not just 1 week of Ramayana, Ram Navami, but throughout the year, taking the imprints, taking the footprint, taking the examples, the principles, the characteristics which is laid out by Lord Ramachandra through Ramayana must be followed. Padachna, following in the footsteps of Lord Ramachandra. That is the main, very introspective meaning of Rama. One of the meaning of Ramayana, which we can take and apply it, so that that can benefit, that can purify our soul and being close to Lord Ramachandra. So with that, Mangalam Kausalendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya. Let there be auspiciousness in everyone's heart in this whole world. So that is the Ramayana. Now coming to the, we are, so even still Prabhupada has mentioned, I will give few still Prabhupada's comments also as we discuss. So Prabhupada has also mentioned to one of the devotee in 1975, Dinanath Mishra in Laguna Beach. Prabhupada has mentioned, I have a great desire to translate Valmiki Ramayana. Ramcharitamanas already translated by someone, but I would like to really translate if I get time. So just like Srimad Bhagavatam, I want to translate this. So in that we can understand still Prabhupada's mood. And he also mentioned, I wish to build a temple for Lord Ramachandra by the mercy of Lord Ramachandra. And we could see that in Juhu, we have Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. And we will hear those more pastimes from His Holiness Giriraj Ram Maharaj. In May 1st week, we have his class. So I had asked him to narrate that, how that installation has happened, what Sri Prabhupada has instructed. So that is one of the significance. And also another place where Sri Prabhupada, during the morning walk, Prabhupada has told, instructed, when somebody asks the question, all the devotees, whoever is there as the disciples and devotees in the ISKCON, are they all devotees of Radha and Krishna? Then Prabhupada mentioned, not necessarily. So some, just like in Chaitanya Leela, we see that Murari Gupta and a few others, Rupa Goswami's brother and others, are the devotees of Lord Ramachandra. So it could be. So there is a Sankirtan movement, so many devotees, and then we also see from the Krishna book, and also we see from Chaitanya Charitamrita, as we, so I'm starting where Simhasa Prabhu left off, beautifully explained about this, how Jatayu has saved, Jatayu has actually stalled Ravana to take Sita away. He tried his best, to the best of his abilities. So that that's where I will start. But before that, where did that happen? It has happened in Dandakaranya forest. Before that, Lord Ramachandra, when he went to the exile, 14 years, 11 years he is in Chitrakoot, which is in Madhya Pradesh. And then when Bharat came there with his army, so that happened. Then he left 11 years or so, some few months. From there he left, and then he started traveling to Dandakaranya forest. This Dandakaranya forest is there in various places, all the way from Uttar Pradesh and especially in the Nashik, Maharashtra, touching Andhra Pradesh also, throughout the bank of Godavari, and some parts of Karnataka also, where we see Hanuman's birthplace is there, Anungedi, or I forget the other name. So in this way, we see the wonderful places of this Dandakaranya throughout this. Nashik is one of the main places, Panchavati. In some places, and we also see Bhadrachalam, which is in South India, Andhra Pradesh. That is also part of Dandakaranya forest, where we see Parnasala and other beautiful places, and obviously the temple. And there is another pastime to it. But where we see from Valmiki Ramayana is the main Panchavati. Nashik is mentioned. Bhadrachalam is not mentioned. Panchavati was not mentioned. But it could be from some other Manvantara or some other Yuga also. But it definitely, that is also authentic place. So now coming back to, this is in Aranya Kanda. I'll also recite. First, we'll start with the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, verse number 12, where Prabhupada is here, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj about the Lord Ramachandra's pastime, where he's talking about the Jatayu. Dugdvatma kriya hata Krityam aham kabandam sakyam vidaya kapibir daita gatim ta budvata valini hate plavagendra sainyel vela magatsa manujo aja bhavachit angri. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Vijay. Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, has assumed the form of a human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon named Kabanda, and after making friends with monkey chiefs, killing Vali and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean. So now we understand. So both those characters will cover personalities. Jatayu, Kabanda, and Jatayu also has the brother Sampati. So we'll cover those topics. We'll see how much time is there. And then we also see the Dandaka. This is in Aranya Kanda. There are 6 Kandas or 7. So in that Aranya Kanda is one of them. After the Bala Kanda and the Ayodhya Kanda, this is in Aranya Kanda. Then we see Kishkinda Kanda. We'll be touching on Aranya Kanda and Kishkinda Kanda. So here Aranya Kanda means where it means Lord Ramachandra, as he is entering into Dandakaranya, he wants to eradicate the negative things, negative aspects, as because many of the sages, the Aranya means also tranquility, peacefulness. And Vishwamitra walked into Dasarath Maharaj asking for Lord Ram, sending Ramachandra with him to kill the demons. Then Dasarath Maharaj asked, and so how is everything? In a way, Prabhupada explained that Punarjanma Jayaya, one who can, were you able to control the birth and death? That's what, when they are in the forest of Aranyakanda means, these sages are trying to conquer this birth, death, old age, and disease, going back to Godhead. That is the main aim of. If that is being obstructed, that's why Aranyakanda means where this is very, very important Kanda actually. Lord is trying to remove all the negative aspects from our hearts. When one who takes his shelter, one who surrenders, then Lord will be able to remove those impurities and the various demons, like we see in this Aranyakanda mainly. So that is the one, and that is the one of the meaning. There would be other meanings also. So now here we are entering into the Jatayu. First time when Ravana, Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana met Jatayu. So before that, all these examples of what we see in Ramayana, especially in the Aranyakanda, whether Jatayu or Sampati or Hanuman or Kabanda, various other parts, especially Jatayu, Hanuman, and Sugriva and Vibhishana, these 4 personalities, it is basically instructing us that how to become an instrument in the hands of the Supreme Lord. Nimitta matram bhava sabhyasajin, just like Arjuna became instrument. Means they all felt that they are not the doers. They just simply they did a selfless service just to please the Supreme Lord. They want to be the servant. They don't want any credit. They don't want to even, they are not feeling that I am the savior. I'm savior. I have given this to the somebody or given help this devotee, that devotee. No, they're not thinking actually. They are thinking I'm always a menial servant. I don't have any qualification. That's how they are thinking, all of them. So that is one of the important instruction for us to take and implement in our life. So Jatayu was introduced as a friend of Dasarath Maharaj. So this is in chapter 14, Sarga 14, verse number 32. So where he is giving his introduction of how he is the son of Aruna, who is the charioteer of sun god. And so Venata had 2 sons, 2 of them. One is the Garuda and another one is Aruna. So the Aruna sons are Jatayu and Sampati, where it is explained beautifully in verse number 32 in chapter 14 of this Aranyakanda. Kadru Naga Sahasram tu Vijagne Dharani Dharan Dvau Putra Vinatayatu Garuda Aruna Evacha. Then the next verse is Tasma Jatas Aham Aruna Sampati Cha Mama Agraja Jatayur iti Mam Vidhi Sheni Putram Arindama. Oh Lord Arindama, over the killer of the enemies of the enemies. So I am the son of this Aruna, Sheni, sun god's charioteer. That's why Sheni. I am the son of that. So Jatayu. So in this way, he is giving that introduction. And he is also mentioned, I am the friend of Dasarath Maharaj, your father. So in this way, he has given a beautiful introduction in this chapter. And then how did Lord behave? This is another important instruction. Lord behaved, he hugged as soon as he heard this introduction that he is the friend of Dasarath Maharaj. So he hugged Jatayu. Not only that, he bowed with his head down like this. As Lord is showing by his own example how to treat, how to respect the elders. And I'm grateful for my mother teaching from my childhood about Lord Ramchandra. We were worshipping Radha and Krishna at home, and she used to teach me these verses. That's how I know this Mangalam Kausalendraya, Rapada Mabhaktaram Dataram Sarvasampada Lokaviramam Sri Ramam Vyo Vyo Namam. So take shelter of Lord Ramchandra. That's how my mother used to instruct me. So here, so the further we see that Jata is in the next chapter where Ravana comes and kidnaps Mother Sita. So this is in chapter 14 where Jatayu is trying to basically stop Ravana. So yeah, the many instructions from this. I think everybody knows Jatayu personality. But one instruction we see, Prabhupada talks about it in 799 of Srimad Bhagavatam from Narsingha Pralad Charita, where he's talking about the qualification of a person who wants to serve. What is the qualification? It is just like Gajendra. What is his qualification? He is giving this, explaining. Manye Dhanavijana Rupa Tapas Vitaujas Teja Prabhava Bala Paurusha Buddhi Yoga Na Aradhanaya Bhavanti Parasya Pumso Bhaktyat Dosha Bhagavan Gajayota Paya. That means neither your influence, neither your beauty, neither your strength or power, aristocracy, none of them will help. Only Bhaktyat Dosha Bhagavan, only by simply your surrender, selfless. You want to please the Lord by your service attitude. Only with that. And that's what Prabhupada says in that purport. That in any condition, devotion service shouldn't be stopped. In any condition, devotion service should always continue. Doesn't matter whatever condition, a tiring situation, any condition, any complex situation also, we should never stop. Just like Jatayu. So Prabhupada is quoting, just like Gajendra. So this should be our situation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining in the sixth ashtam also in the last few verses. So no matter what, even Krishna leaves me, Krishna tramples me, still I want to be always the servant of the Supreme Lord, always under the shelter. So that is the mood here, Prabhupada explains. So fight, never mind if you are defeated. Krishna sees the service, sees the devotion. Another instruction is fight against the Maya. Especially they are seeing the internal senses, we have to fight against our internal senses, internal mind. Many times we go through various, anarthas, mind and senses are dragging us in so many different directions. So I cannot do this or I cannot do that. But and also external senses, Maya is also forcing through different allurements, different, we feel deficient. But here we can see from the example of the Jatayu that he could fight against Maya like anything. And then Jatayu also fought, to protect the mother Sita, just do his service. And also it is mentioned, don't hesitate to do service as a servant. So despite any difficulties at any situation, whether it's a corona or whatever the situation may be, we have to go through in life. And don't think that you are the savior. Think always as a humble servant. And always ask for forgiveness. Here, when Jatayu was fought valiantly with Ravana, actually, he killed Jatayu killed actually with his wings and beak itself, killed the charioteer, killed even the ass with the demon-like face. He killed, and he removed he was able to remove the mukut of even Ravana. He was able to obstruct all his whatever arrows, whatever things he released. Everything was nothing could obstruct actually Jatayu. Jatayu could forcefully fight even though he didn't have any weapons. 60,000 years old, he was telling in his narration in the previous chapter in this Aranya Kanda. 60,000 years, that much old he is. And he actually told Dharma, what kind of person are you? What did Lord Ramchandra do to you? Why are you taking, he didn't come to your kingdom, he didn't take away anything. So why are you taking away? And you are protecting your wife. If somebody puts their hands on your wife, are you not protecting? Then why are you trying to take away, putting hands on somebody else's wife? So many different ways he's giving the morality, he's giving the dharma of the Shastra. And they finally tells, if you don't follow this, you are going to be killed, vanquished. The whole, your dynasty, your Lanka will be vanquished. So you better give Mother Sita, leave Sita and go. But he doesn't listen, obviously, he's the demon number one. So yeah, then he basically fights valiantly with Ravana. Ravana finally leaves with only his sword. Everything is gone. All his gada, everything. That's how much he was able to fight, even though he is so old, Jatayu. Then finally, Ravana gets down. He was able to even scratch on his back with his beak. So he gets really upset, becomes very angry, and then gets down from his chariot, and then finally takes his sword and chops off his two wings, and basically then he falls down, Jatayu. Then he flews off, Ravana flews off. So when Mother Sita also hugs, when he gets down, then Mother Sita hugs Jatayu. It is mentioned in this Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. So this is now in this. So the further instruction. Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to mention even in the last stage when Jatayu was this has happened. Then Ravana leaves. Then when Lord Ramachandra comes in and then sees Jatayu in this condition, then what Jatayu says generally when we are about to die or when somebody is about to die, what will be our situation? Generally, when we are in difficulty, not only that, any difficulty, we'll try to see how we can come out of that difficulty. We'll think about ourselves. But here, Jatayu, see her condition. She's telling, she's giving the nice, beautiful words, telling Rama that I was not able to do. I'm not able to do best of my ability, do service. Now it is the right time, win the time. Whatever you are losing, you are going to get back Mother Sita. Actually, that was one of the purpose. One of the acharyas saying that is one of the purpose. There, otherwise Punarvasu time is coming. That is inauspicious. This Vinda time is auspicious. So he is waiting for that time. So he wants to fight. He knows exactly that he cannot fight with Ravana. The one reason also to fight. Otherwise, he could have just stayed there and waited until Ramchandra comes that Ravana has kidnapped. You could have told, but rather he wants to stop the time so that when the auspicious time for Lord Ramchandra comes, then till that time he is able to fight. Then that's when actually this happens. Then Ravana leaves. Then Lord Ramchandra walks in. Then he tells, "This is the auspicious time. Don't worry. You are going to get back what you lost, Mother Sita." In this way, he's even that time he's dying, but he's consoling. So that is a beautiful part. So that means we can understand even till the last stage is trying to serve by uttering sweet words to the Lord without expecting anything in return. So this is the characteristics, the quality, the eagerness, the patience, the determination, the devotion. So he could able to see the darshan of the Lord. How many of us were able to get the darshan of the Lord? And he could die in the hands of the Supreme Lord, Lord Ramachandra. And Lord has what the Lord said. This is more painful than even losing Mother Sita. That's what Lord has said. Intense devotion, what Jatayu had. So this is the quality we need to learn. Selfless surrender, completely, fully surrendering, serving to the best of the abilities. And another Acharya also has mentioned that When Vibhishana was coronated, Lord Ramachandra was crying. Then one of the Acharya is saying, Lord Ramachandra was thinking, I have given Sugriva, when Sugriva came to surrender, then I have given his kingdom, Kishkinda, because Vali and Sugriva, both were the sons. Son God actually gives the promise. When Hanuman asks, what Guru Dakshina you want? And he says, okay, protect my son, Sugriva. So always take care of my son Sugriva. That is in one of the pastime. Anyway, so here we see that Lord Ramachandra, when obviously kills Wali, then he tells Sugriva, he gives his kingdom, he installs him, he basically coronates him, puts the Suvarna Creed and coronates him, Sugriva. And then next time we see that Vibhishana, he also coronating Vibhishana, gives the Lanka and then giving the basically Suvarna Mukut. And then the Lord is crying by seeing it. But for both of them, I was able to do something. But here, Jatayu has given everything. I'm not neither able to give the kingdom or Suvarna Creed. Nothing I'm able to do. She was crying, seeing this situation. I couldn't do anything. So this is so we can see how Lord wants to always be glorify his devotees. Lord wants to always thinking about his devotees. Very sensitive. We see the same thing. This forest pastimes are beautiful, amazing. If you read Krishna book, there also Prabhupada explains beautifully that when Krishna left the day when Brahma stole all of them, that day early in the morning he told generally, very early in the morning, let's all go to picnic. They all went. So during the picnic itself, Krishna was very careful, very sensitive. Each and every cowherd boy, what his needs are, everything. See, Lord Krishna was watching everything all the way. So even when Brahma stole, also we know how he expanded. So this is the characteristics of the Supreme Lord, how he is always sensitive and is always reciprocating with the loving feelings of these devotees. And we also see that from Chaitanya Leela that how where Prabhupada is mentioning Dandakaranya forest, another instance. These sages in Dandakaranya was thinking about the Lord, seeing the beauty, attracted by the Lord Ramachandra's beautiful nature. That is where it is mentioned. Sriraghavam Dasaratatmajam Aprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulanvaya Ratnadipam Ajanubahum Aravinda Dalayatacham Ramam Nisachara Vinasakaram Mamam. So Aravinda Dalayatacham, he has the lotus, beautiful eyes. So by seeing the attractive beauty of the Lord, they immediately thought of the cowherd girls of Vrindavan, that pastime. Then immediately, as they desired in that way, then Lord Ramchandra didn't say anything. He was silent. They want to actually hug, embrace in that mood, not as a sage. So immediately Lord didn't say anything, but indirectly granted that boon. So they all of them, these sages in Dandakaranya, we are thinking in that way. Then they all appeared in Lord Krishna's pastime as the gopis, either the direct gopis or indirect. There are direct gopis who are directly exchanging rasa with the Supreme Lord. In the indirect gopis mean those who are not directly exchanging, but hearing the pastimes regularly, how Lord Krishna dealt about the Rasa Leela, about different exchanges of gopis directly with the Lord Krishna. One in the Vrindavan or in the Dwarka. So this way, this is also another Dandakaranya's forest, another example. So we also see that Lord Balaram also went to Dandakaranya forest. Lord Nityananda Prabhu also went to Dandakaranya forest. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went in Madhya Leela chapter 9, it is explained 3:11 to 3:13, where he went to Saptatala, 7 palm trees. He embraced them and he liberated them. And they were cursed. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them. We went to this Nasik. We went to Panchavati, where this happened, where actually Lord Ramachandra met Jatayu. And then later on, when Jatayu fought with Ravana, that could have happened in different places, going through different places. So, not sure, but at least they met at Panchavati, where Lord Ramachandra stayed at the Panchavati. That's all explained in Ramayana itself. So, this is about the Jatayu. Then, obviously, Lord has performed the funeral rites, rather the ceremony. for Jatayu himself, personally by the Lord. And then obviously he asked, Lord Ramchandra asked Jatayu, can you tell me about this, the enemy, how his strength is, how he looks, and what has happened, how did this happen? Then obviously he could tell only to some extent, at least he indicated, son of Vishrava and brother of Kuvera. He couldn't tell Ravana by the time he passed away. But before that, he tells his strength to some extent. And then he leaves at least. And then he tells about going southward direction. Then Lord Ramchandra started going in southward direction. Yeah, 14 chapter 50th verse number 27. Yeah. Avasyam tu manya karyam priyam tasya mahatmanah jintena api ramasya tata dasarathasya cha. But I must definitely accomplish something to forestall you till they come, for I cannot willingly depart from here to fetch any of two brothers, and that I must do shall be agreeable to great Lord Ramchandra and Dasarath Maharaj, even at the sake of my life. This is when he was fighting. He was telling about Dharma to Ravana. So Jatayu is telling, I must stall you from taking Mother Sita at any cost, even at the sake of my life. So that is the his devotion, intense devotion. So then when he has heard about, then Lord Ramchandra heard about the southward direction, immediately he started going in southward direction. Then he enters into Krauncha forest. Actually in America also, so where we live, USA, it is also called Krauncha Dvipa. Like we see Jumbo Dvipa. At least I don't know the whole US, or at least Florida, I am 100% sure, Krauncha Dvipa. Whether New Jersey is in the Krauncha Dvipa or not. But this Krauncha forest is different from this. I just want to say that as I remember. So this is in Krauncha are very deep. So much ferocious animals are there. This forest where Kabanda was living. This is another demon. Actually, later we see that how actually it was also a curse. This Kabanda demon was also how he became like that because of the curse. So then as he was walking, then he hears huge noise. Before that also, actually, Lakshmana was actually approached by another demoness. Forget the personality's name. Then if the demoness wants to marry Lakshmana, then immediately, obviously, Lakshmana cuts ears and earrings. Then basically scares him away. Then he runs off, the demoness. And then this happens. Then they both, Lord Rama and Lord Lakshmana, about to go further. Then Kabanda sees this. Kabanda has a very long arms, because he was cursed by a Stola Sarira Rishi, and also before that Indra curses him that his head is not there. Head is in the stomach. And then when he was laughing at the seeing this Stola Sarira sage, then he cursed him that you will not be able to actually will not have mouth to eat. So the way he got different curse, that he doesn't have a head, he doesn't have mouth. Then by being repentant, then the Lord demon is Surpanaka. No, not Surpanaka. Not Surpanaka. This demon is different. This demon is different. I will tell you. I have written. Uh, as we have to see. I have written, but anyways, so let's discuss as we go through. We'll be able to find it. So Kavanda basically, snatched, caught hold of Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana. One hand Lord Ramachandra, one hand Lakshmana. So by the curse of this Sula Sarira, his head is not there. His mouth is in the belly, on the stomach, because he has to eat. So because of his repentance, somehow or the other sage has given. So only his hands are too long. So very long hand. So with those too long and very strong hands. So with that, so he was able to capture Lord Ramchandra in one hand and Lakshmana in another hand. You can imagine how much strength he has. So Then Lord Rama, Lakshmana is telling, oh Lord Rama, so you go, you escape from here and go and save Mother Sita. Somehow or the other, even maybe I may die, but at least you go and try to get Mother Sita. So, but the Lord Rama, then finally they was able to, at last they was able to see that they tried their best, but they are not able to come out. Then they could understand that this demon, the strength is in the arms, because rest there is not much body, headless torso. That's why it's called Kabanda. So he was cursed by Indra and cursed by this another sage, Stola, Sarira, sage. So then finally, Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana took their swords and able to cut off these two hands. They could understand. Then Kabanda told, you so basically you put me on fire because I was cursed like this. I could understand now you are not ordinary persons. Then please put me on the fire, and then I will be able to regain my original form. Actually, is the Viswavasu. Viswavasu is the actual name. So then he regained his form, and then he explained the way you go is you have to go to Pampa River. Pampa River. From there, you go to the Matanga Rishi's ashram. From there, then you meet Sugriva, make friend of Sugriva. It gives a beautiful instructions. By that, by taking their help of these Vanaras, because they are also innocent, you have to help Sugriva. He's in a difficult situation. By helping him, then they will be able to help you in getting Mother Sita, because they will know. They know this area. And that is the most difficult area. It is called Rishyamukha mountain. So that is also there. This Pampa river is there near Tungabhadra. This is, I think, close to Karnataka, Hampi, close to Karnataka. So this, now the instruction from this Kabanda, what we learn is basically, yeah, one thing also from this, one thing from the Jatayu. So Prabhupada says, we can never repay a spiritual master. We can never repay a spiritual master. You want a little bit, to some extent, we can do it by preaching. That's what Prabhupada says. And so that is also one of the important instruction. We should never think that we will be able to repay a spiritual master, and we should try to at least pay it back by try to do whatever way of preaching, by distributing prasad or so on the way, when after this Jatayu, when Ravana takes basically Sita, Mother Sita, then Mother Sita drops her ornaments. In some places it is mentioned along with her upper cloth and this and that. But in Ramayana it's only mentioned the ornaments. And those ornaments, because Mother Sita sees on a mountain, these 4 or 5 Varanas are discussing. So those Sugriva and others, Mother Sita could be able to see. Then she thought, okay, they may be able to find these and help later on Lord Ramchandra. So finally they find these ornaments. So basically Sugriva finds these ornaments. So, and then also when Lord Ramchandra sees Jatayu, then Lord Ramchandra also finds these flowers, flowers and footprints of Mother Sita. Then basically he meets Jatayu. So that we have discussed. Yeah. So now about the Kabanda's instruction. Yeah. Kabanda's first instruction is never give up, never lose hope. No battle is lost until the end, because Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana was caught by this Kabanda with 2 hands. They tried their best before they fought, but the strength is so hard. Lord is teaching us, actually. Lord can destroy all of them at within a moment. This is nothing. But Lord is teaching by his own example. So how to never give up while we engage in devotion, never lose hope. But try till the last moment, last breath. Continue your devotion service, continue your seva. No battle is lost until end. And then attack the strength and exploit his weakness, whether it's a business, whether it's a devotion service, whatever. Attack. So because they understood that his strength is in 2 hands. So that's why they attacked the strength. So we have to see also where our actual Maya strength is, where our weakness is. We have to see it. The external Maya is forcing us, dragging us away from Krishna, away from spiritual master service. Again and again, day after day, we are constantly being reminded that we are this body, not the soul, but we are being constantly thinking of this body. So this is all the Maya's influence. Where exactly, which sense out of 5 Jnanendra, which sense is actually causing, distracting us more? These things are, we have to see, understand and attack those particular things under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master and Siksha Guru. So this is the instruction of the attacking the strength and exploiting his weakness. It is SWOT analysis, it is mentioned. We are discussing another meeting with our temple president. SWOT analysis. We have to understand the enemy. This is not just business. This is not even, as we are going through COVID situation, we are trying to understand how we can improve our service to people, service to devotees. So that is SWOT analysis. We are trying to understand how we are able to do, how we are not able to do in some area. So same way, we have to do this SWOT analysis on our own. Devotional strength. Where is our strength? Where is the weakness? Where I am situated? Which part? How I am progressing? So all these we have to understand. If you want to progress, if you want to really attain the lotus feet of Krishna and the spiritual master, not necessarily where we are going to go, and that is not immediate. Whether we are developed love, whether we are able to really, tears are flowing down while we are chanting. Tears are flowing down, crying for the service of Sri Prabhupada, crying for the service of Supreme Lord. That is not there, means we haven't perfected. So that's what we have to try. So that's why these instructions are main important. Story, we can we all might have heard these stories. And treat the enemy also very well. So now, because Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana treated very well, Kavanda is able to tell the actual what is helping Lord Ramachandra, where they have to go, which direction they have to go, where they have to take help. Actually, Kavanda was the enemy, demon. So, but because when you treat the enemies, and the Mahaprabhu teaches that don't expect respect, give respect, even if it is enemy, even if you don't like a person, devotee, it could be any person, still offer respect. There is nothing wrong. Spirit soul, super soul is there, even in the enemy. So while we are offering respects, that is what we have to think. That super soul is there. I'm offering respects to the Supreme Lord as a super soul in that other person. So this is another lesson. Even if the adverse situation gives equal opportunity. So this is adverse situation also. That means we generally think, oh, if it is a difficulty, why did Lord give? We curse or we really go, we lose our patience. Rather, we have to take this opportunity and see how we can, next time, how we can come out of these difficulties, how we can improve. The constant we have to see these difficulties as actually pillars to go to the next level. 54. The next is basically when the Pampa Lake, the Matanga Muni and Sabari. Maybe I'll quickly cover this and stop because otherwise there is no discussion time also. Let me see 1 or 2 minutes. Sabari is important personality. We have a lot to learn. In her previous life, she was a queen. She was thinking, she was very much dissatisfied and dispassionate about all the materialistic things. She was always trying to serve sages and saintly person, but she's not able to get. She's not able to go even out. So because of that, then in the next life she became like a hunter, born to a hunter. And then at the time of her marriage, then hunter started bringing so many different kinds of animals to give sacrifice and whatnot. Then by seeing that itself, hearing that itself, they immediately she ran away from that home of that hunter, and then she entered into forest. Then she comes to this trying to be under the shelter of one of the ashram or one of the sage, but nobody could take because she is a Sudra woman. Nobody could take. Only Matanga Muni could see her devotion, could see. Then he accepted her and then told her, "You stay here, you serve, try to serve the Lord." So there we see that how to serve. Then what she used to do? She used to do in the night, early in the morning, before nobody wakes up, goes out, go to the Pampa Lake, because they all used to go to fetch water, take that water from Pampa Lake to serve the Lord. So she used to go out and then remove all the pebbles, stones on the path. She used to collect the flowers. She used to collect the water, everything nicely, and put in front of the Rishi's ashrams. So that means it is telling devotional service is internal. It is not to a showcase. It is not that I am chanting 64 rounds, I am doing this, I am doing that. Yes, if it is a Siksha Guru or advanced devotee or a friend, you are sharing one-on-one, that's fine. But this is not to publicize that I am doing this, I am doing that. This is not to publicize. This is what Sabra is telling them, because Mata Muni asks, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it in the night time? Then she said, then Matang Muni could understand her devotion as intensity. She doesn't want any credit. She doesn't want, because they think that she is a Sudra woman. They don't want anyway accept her service. So she that way she doesn't want to even, nobody knows, nobody should know that she is the one who's doing, and she just simply wants to serve them. That was her intention in the previous life also. So that's why she is continued to do in that way in this life also. So selfless service and devotional service is internal. And then be compassionate, help others grow in bhakti. This is the way. She's cleaning the peoples. What does that mean? That means not only we are always thinking about how I can grow in bhakti, how I can grow my bank balance, how I can grow in my material life, my job, my this, my that, and this home or this or that. But rather we should see how I can help others materially, whatever. Rather important is spiritually. How I can help others spiritually grow. How can at least be compassionate, be considerate, love the devotees. This is what she's teaching. Is by removing these obstacles, by removing these peoples, stones. So just like we see all in Vrindavan, also same way the cows and everyone is trying to make very nice things for the Supreme Lord's pleasure. Same way here also we see the selfless service of the Shabari in this way, compassionate, helping others, grow in bhakti. And don't curse and don't criticize. Even though all of them are trying to curse, nobody accepted. She never cursed the Lord. She never cursed them. She never criticized any of them. She just simply went on with her devotion. So in this way, Shabari, finally we could see that and remove others. By this, we will be able to grow in our bhakti. I think I have to stop here. So Lord Ramachandra finally meets her and then takes, even though she ate that fruits and gave that remaining fruit, which is Mahaprasad, but still, because he wants to make sure that they are sweet. Some of them generally is bitter. This fruit. That way, Lord Ramachandra immediately accepted. Even the Lakshmana was hesitant. But Lord Ramachandra said, no, the devotion. So obviously they accepted. So with that, I'll stop here because the Hanuman, I have to cover so many personalities, so many characters. Sampati, who has finally gives direction for all these Vanaras, how to actually get to Lanka, what should be the action plan. He gives main key details, who is the brother of Jatayu. So I'll stop here. So thank you very much for patiently listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any reflections, you can share so that we all can learn. Sitaram Hanuman ki jai, Shukopad ki jai, Gaur.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Krishna Namananda Prabhu. Very nice. Anybody has anything to share? Any reflections? Please, this is a beautiful. Ramayana is so beautiful.
Yeah, I was reading first time today. It's so beautiful. I was reading first time the verses. I was captivated by the verses. Each of the I was going the whole. I was reading even your sections also. Verses are also captivating, but I couldn't write down every verse.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. Yes, I think Subal Prabhu was trying to say something.
Go ahead, sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'd just like to, one question to Simeshwar Prabhu, and before that, is it Pampa River or lake? I thought it was...
Pampa, it's a Pampa River. Okay. Pampa is a very old sacred river, and it was mentioned even in the Ramayana scripture. And this was, this was the place where Shabari and the Pampa and the Godavari and the Tungabhadra, these are all the rivers Lord Ram passed over. Yeah.
So probably my question was this, actually, this is, you said when Bharat came and took away Lord Ram's padukas, and in fact, so that is where Lord Ram was being made the king again. So isn't that the two, one of the boons was not being obeyed? I mean, wouldn't it reflect? You understand my question, right?
Yeah, tricky question.
So isn't that
no, actually, it's not fulfilled as it's fulfilled. It's a Janaka. Yes, Janaka Maharaj came there and they discussed this in great detail. You're right. You are also thought to very deep. That's right. So Lord Ram was in a dilemma. How can this be allowed? And Janaka Maharaj is one of the 12 Mahajan. And then Lord Ram discussed this with Janak Maharaj. Janak Maharaj came there. So then it is mentioned that, yes, Lord Ram seems physically in the forest and not ruling directly. And with the issue, this the sandal, then Bharat is actually, in the name of it, Bharat is actually taking care of. Bharat didn't accept even. Bharat was just accepting as a servant of the shoe that uh, on the name of Lord Ram, but really, it's in the Sumandra was majorly, taking care of the Ayodhya. Then Bharat came to the Nandigram, lived there in a hermitage, and Bharat was basically just worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord Ram. Every day morning, 2 a.m., getting up in the morning and getting into the Sarayu and taking the bath, coming and just offering the flowers at the lotus feet of Lord Ram in the Paduka, and just remembering the Lord Ram. Whatever Sumandra was bringing, okay, this needs to be done, just signing it up on, basis of. Basically, even Bharat was, Bharat is didn't accept that at all as a kingship. Bharat was just assuming that, okay, just for the sake of somebody needed to be asked there in order to just, it's not that Bharat assumed the kingship, but Bharat was just serving the Lord Ram. That's the way we need to see it, and worshipping the Lord Ram.
No, I don't think you understood my question. Like, what I'm saying. So technically, Sri Ram is still the king, right? So that's like
technically, in the sense is, I mean, yes, Bharat to be king, and that is actually mentioned. Yes, I mean, we can say technically Lord Ram is the king, correct.
So but in that case, that the two what was asked of Lord Ram is not being, at least one of them is not being for, because Bharat was asked to be the king.
Yes, but Bharat, that is without the permission of Bharat, and Bharat didn't accept that. And now the question is, now, is it that the wish of the Maharaj? And even Kaigeyi came and requested to be, nullify everything, and even was repenting so much, but still needed to fulfill the 14 years, the exile, and Bharat to be king. And yes, Lord Ram is also accepting that, okay, be for Bharat to be ruled that. And then remember that when Lord came back from Lanka, came back all after the 14 years, and then Lord Ram even hesitated to become the king of the Ayodhya. Then Lord Ram sent first the Hanumanji to consult, to check with Bharat what is the condition. And then as soon as Bharat heard that Lord Ram is coming, and then Bharat was surrendered everything to Lord Ram. And yes, I mean, it's fulfilled. The orders of the Lord Ram, so Dasharatha and Kaigeyi is fulfilled, definitely fulfilled. And Lord Ram was not ruling. Lord Ram is in the forest, of course. And Bharata was basically taking care in the shadow of Lord Ram, But Lord Bharat is actually assumed that Lord Ram is the king, but Lord Ram didn't accept that. That's the point.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. It was a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Both you and Namananda, Prabhu. It was very nice. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Amrutanand Prabhu, please share your reflections. Anything we mentioned wrongly, please correct us, share us.
You're the encyclopedia, you and Simeshwar Prabhu. What will I do? Correction. The point what I wanted to add, Prabhu, in 1 minute or less, it is sometimes there are things we read in Bhagavatam also. When Amrish Maharaj was to break his fast, he drank water, and water is considered breaking the fast as well as not breaking the fast. So there are times when these conditions, it may seem to be contradictory, but then the acharyas, they explain so-called contradiction. So similarly is Lord Ramchandra, personally wasn't ruling, and Bharat Maharaj was like a proxy, so to say. So proxy is as good as, like, power of attorney, so to say. In that sense, uh, and at the same time, Lord Rama himself wasn't. So he fulfilled his father's uh, request that I will go to the forest and not be a king. And then Bharat also, Maharaj, he did not rule directly. He ruled as a, so to say, a proxy. So on that condition also it was met at Bharat being. So that way it is, these contradictions is how Acharyas explain simultaneously. How I think even our Achintya Bheda Tattva, simultaneously one and different. How can something be one and different? So then they give the explanation of sea water. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Krishna Nam Prabhu, Simeshwar Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. In Ramayana, Subal Prabhu, it is mentioned Pampa Sarovar, Pampa Lake in Ramayana, in Aranyakanda. But in some places it is mentioned Pampa Sarovar. So you could take it as a river, you could take it as a lake. But either way is fine. Not sometimes these lakes are huge, long. So it could be, you can take it as a river also. So yeah, and also I was trying to finish about the Shabari in the last when she's about to meet, about to meet Lord Ramchandra. When she was going to Pampa Lake to get the water, then somehow or the other she touches this, her broom touches the feet of one of the Rishi. Then she immediately, you are the Sudra woman, you touched and you spoiled everything. He became very upset and cursed and criticized. Then immediately, when he went to fetch the water from this river, from this Pampa Lake, Pampa Sarovar, everything became blood, red, all worms, full of worms. He couldn't take, he couldn't understand. He tried his best. He went to all the sages, he tried. Even when Lord Ramachandra came also, but nobody could, until it was understood that because of cursing, criticizing Shabari, pure devotee of the Lord, by Shabari putting her dust, her feet in that river, then again it became to the original condition. So we can understand the pure devotees. Even when one time Sri Prabhupada is giving one of the disciples of Prabhupada was sharing this, that when Prabhupada mentioned one of the 10 offenses, Prabhupada asked some question. What are the 10 offenses? Then first immediately Janaki Mataji asked not to blaspheme the pure devotees of the Lord, first one. Then Prabhupada said, no. Blaspheme anyone who's chanting, anyone who's devotee, anyone even chanting, uttering the name of the Lord. That is the first offense. So not just pure devotee, but any devotee. Prabhupada corrected her. So that is an important point we can see from Shabari, obviously at the highest stage, but we shouldn't criticize anyone for that matter. At least we should try to reduce, try to remove that thing from our mind.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, wonderful. Anybody else has anything to add? Any reflections?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Very good.
I was just thinking, Pampa River, right? Shabari, my references showed that Shabari is from Orissa or Chhattisgarh area, okay? But Pampa River is in Kerala, or we on the references given for Shabari are in Kerala or Shabarimala area, right? That mountains and everything. So if I didn't check the Ramayana, but I'm just giving the references. References wise, if we see, Kishkinda is in Orissa area too. Kishkinda and where Lord Ram met with Hanuman. So that is in Orissa. Orissa and the Chhattisgarh area. So I'm thinking after this Leela of Shabari, then Ram and Lakshman finds Hanuman. So in that case, if Ram and Lakshman, I don't know the geography of that age, but with my this contemporary vision or contemporarily how the geography is, I can assume that maybe there was something called a Pampa Sarovar or Pampa Lake in the areas of the Chhattisgarh and Orissa areas, and from where Shabari was found, and after that they went to Kishkinda. That is my, I mean, this is
Yeah.
all speculation. I don't know. I'm just
No,
trying
no,
to.
it's not right. It's not right, Prabhuji. I mean, if you look at the Ramayana in the whole chronology, all the ways that Lord Ram and Lakshman Mother Sita was further after the Kabanda, they were going to the direction of south. And we can see that where they met the Agastya Muni. We know that Agastya Kuda Parvat is still close to the Tamil Nadu, and Agastya Muni was more familiar in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka area, and in Andhra Pradesh area, Agastya Muni. And they were at the one actually meeting before they come to the Panchavadi. They are meeting Agastya Muni, and then the Agastya Muni's direction they came to the Panchavadi. And then from Panchavadi, and then Ravana came, and Sri Lanka, of course, in the south, further south to the Kerala and Tamil Nadu region, right? So then Jadayu instructed to mentioned to Lord Ram that go to the south direction. That's Ravana went to the south direction. So definitely they came to the south direction. That's where actually Lord Ram meeting Shabari, and then further meeting the Hanumanji and Sugriv. That is all still there actually, those places. And Kishkinda, I mean, I don't know exactly where this knowledge, where this actually is it accurate, whether it is a reference. Shabari is as per the history of Shabarimala. I mean, Shabari was living there for quite some time, and also the lineage was also mentioned into the very detail about and how the Shabari was coming to Madanga Muni, and then Shabari was initially rejected, but by the power of the meditation and finally accepting and all those things, and then meditating for a long time, and then waiting for, Shabari was waiting for Lord Ram to come. And then Madanga Muni even left before, but Shabari was waiting for Lord Ram. Then actually, coming, to Hanumanji and Sugriva and then Vali, and this was Rishyamukhachalam is actually in the south. Rishyamukachala Parvata actually in south, not in the north. So if you look at the Ramayana and the series of it, that is actually, and just look at this, Agastya Muni is more famous in south, not on the north. So you can see all those. If you look at any of these things, and we can see that it was southern direction and coming to the south, not to the north. I mean, there could be maybe something else. I mean, I don't know exactly, but this is what is my understanding. I mean, if you look at
Thank you.
anyway.
Yeah, I was just trying to put my brain into that, but it's not. I don't know.
Even if it goes through the directions, the ways the Lord Ram and all, well, still there are places. Even we have the Pancha Pandavas came. There is a place called Chataya Mangalam, and then that's called Jadayu Mangalam. There's a Jadayu came there, and that's all the places in Kerala. There are a lot of places. Still, Lord Ram's, the Lakshmana's fort. Lord Ram came over there, and we know that when they came to the oceans of Setu Bandhan, right? So this was the place. This was the the pilgrim, the traveling places where Setu Bandhan. We know that they start from the
Rameshwaram.
then the Nishkodi, and so it's all yeah.
Okay, bro. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to.
Thank you. Nice question. So I'll just share also from the mind. This is yes. If you Google it or if you check in other places, you'll find so many other information.
Yeah.
But in Ramayana, it is clearly mentioned that when the Kabanda has given clear direction, you go in this direction, go and reach Pampa Lake. There it is mentioned Pampa Lake here, and then you have to go from there to this Rishyamukha mountain. It is very difficult, but one who goes there, able to cross, able to go up to that mountain, you'll be able to you will be able to get success. Whatever he is trying to get, you'll be able to achieve success. That is the benefit of going to that mountain. That's where Sugriva lives. That's where these Vanaras are there. With their help, you'll be able to basically get your job done. So in that way, it demonstrates clearly said. And it is also mentioned We can see Dandakaranya, as I mentioned in the beginning. Dandakaranya forest covers Maharashtra, all the way even some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and where the Hanuman, this Pampa river, and also this Kishkinda, where it is mentioned about the Hampi, and then Anganudi and some other place where Hanuman's birthplace is also mentioned in some parts of the Karnataka. So it is all, these are all connected actually. And so because when Jatayu could have fought again when he died, basically when the funeral ceremony, all these things happened, that could have happened in Bhadrachalam, that area also. And later on also we see that some of the things in Kerala, Chandramangalam or something, Dr. was mentioning. There are some other places where there is a Jatayu Tirtha. And so obviously there is a bird, obviously it's not, this whole forest is Dandakaranya. It's across 5 or 6 different states. So nothing, but we should take, Prabhupada has taken Valmiki Ramayana. We should also always, if there is a question comes, refer to first Valmiki Ramayana. If that is not there, then we can refer to Adhyatma Ramayana, Kabanda Ramayana, not Kabanda, what is it?
Ramacharita. You know, the Kamba Ramayana.
These are the 4 bona fide actual sources of Ramayana. In some places we see Lakshman Rekha, but that is not in Valmiki Ramayana, but that is in Adhyatma Ramayana. So in this way, first reference must always go to Prabhupada, always refer to Valmiki Ramayana. Then we can go to the other Ramayana. So that's how we should resolve our.
Yeah, I would also just for this is how the historians actually turn upside down everything just because of their own benefit, their own fame, name, and things like that. Recently, I was reading. See, that Lord Ram built the Sedu, the bridge across the Lanka, across the ocean. So then later in the history, the people from Lanka started to make this as a route to come to India and started the trading, and they were doing this, using this for many years. Then because of the bridge, underneath of this bridge, there are a lot of residues, sand and all came. And they came and later they just turned up everything, upside down and said that the sand was there before, and then on top of the sand, Lord, there was a stone was there, and it came up like that. It's not the Lord Ram didn't build. And see, look at that. Lanka and India was trading on this, using this route. See how they turned everything upside down. But originally it was Lord's mercy, and it was actually, and it's also mentioned that as per the NASA's calculation, these stones were there, according to their calculation, the stones were actually 7,000 years old, and the sand which residue, which is, subsided there, is actually 4,000 years old. So we can all see that, how everything they make, they change their own way. And that's a history is actually always. So, but if you look at our scriptures, Ramayana especially, this is called Adi Kavyam. Adi Kavyam. And Valmiki was Adi Kavi, the first and original Kavya, original text in the written form of, of course, Veda was there, but Ramayana is also much time before that. That's what it is mentioned. Wonderful.
Google Priya Mata, you have a question?
No, actually, I heard in a different lecture today, Prabhu, about Jatayu. You mentioned, I didn't hear the whole class, I joined late, but I heard that Dashrath Maharaj had given a vow to Jatayu that he saved Dashrath Maharaj in one of the wars. And Dashrath Maharaj gave him a vow that I'll give you my son. So, we see that when Jatayu passed away, he passed away in the lap of Sri Ram, and Sri Ram did his final rites. He didn't do the final rites for Dashrath Maharaj, but he did the final rites for Jatayu. So, Dashrath Maharaj would make these vows, but Sri Ram would fulfill them. I thought that was relevant to your class, so wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes, exactly. That's very true. Very, very true. And it is mentioned. And they were great friends, Dashratha Maharaj and Jatayu.
Yeah, both brothers helped actually. Even Sampati also helped. We see in the later chapters.
If you look at this all very deep into the subject matter of Ramayana, Mahabharata, this is called Idihas. Idihas means Idihasa. It's very nicely divided. The word meaning Idihasa means that it means it was happened. Idihasa means This was happened. That's what is Itihas means. This was not that just something somebody come up with something. That's the word. And if you look at the search for it, what is the meaning of Itihas? That means that's what which happened. That's what is Itihas means. Ramayana and Mahabharata, it's all Itihas means it's happened. It's just so wonderful. Yeah.
Also, Prabhupada is mentioning in the 6th canto, Bhagavatam, first chapter, verse 13 to 14, one of the purports, one of the class. Valmiki Muni has meditated 60,000 years. Okay, Samadhi stage he has written. So the Prabhupada is mentioning that. Whether this happened in, probably he written in Satya Yuga, so not sure, but Prabhupada has mentioned clearly. I mean, it is not ordinary. So that's why the authenticity and the power and his devotion, just like Vyasadeva has written also in Samadhi stage, Samadhi Bhashya, Srimad Bhagavatam. Same way, the same authenticity and the power and the devotion is there in Ramayana by especially Valmiki to the highest degree. Yeah,
That's true, because of throughout the history of Ramayana, even Ravan was meditating for a long time. Kumbhakarna was meditating for a long time. And these all, this Kabanda or Virada, if you take any of these demons in the Ramayana, they were meditating for long, long, long years. I mean, then we can imagine that it could be started from the Satya Yuga to the Treta Yuga, and comes down like that. Yes, very nice. Okay, so anything else? Anybody else has anything to add? This is beautiful to discuss, and share the reflections and the thoughts talking about the Lord.
yeah. There are so many these life instructions more than the pastime. Also try to get into the actual instruction what we have to apply. And so many devotees, especially our spiritual scientist, given devotee, I forget the name, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has given beautiful for almost many of the major pastimes. Many other devotees shared their different realization. I think Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, many others, wonderful details. What actually we have to learn lessons from these each and every one. His Grace Amarendra Prabhu also given series of lectures. I haven't heard all of them, but they are all wonderful speakers with a lot of devotion and research. So we have to take those and put it in our practice, and that helps. And if we have time, we can read some of the verses also from, at least don't take their translation and purport, at least take the verse, at least you can read translation, but don't take it to the heart. The main thing is then you have to hear from devotees, because these books and the verses purports, these are all written by most of them. They are not really perfect devotees of in Bonafide Sampradaya, so they could be interpreting in their own way, so which is not good for us to go in detail and why this, why that. So just refer verse, just like Prabhupada while translating. How did he do? Prabhupada actually received books. Even Srimad Bhagavatam also. Two instances are there. One of the devotee, I forget his name, near Vrindavan, there is one city. So one person has 11 commentaries, various acharya of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada, then that devotee, Prabhupada told, hey, go and collect. Then he went there and collected all of them, huge pile of books. Especially 10th canto has so many books. Then he brought all of them and gave it to Sri Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, even Bhagavad Gita also. We see here in US, yeah, Prabhupada, what is his name? Bhagavan Prabhu from UK. Prabhupada, he has given the Srimad Bhagavatam, said he also somehow received, I think, I don't know, maybe Bhaktivinoda Thakur or how it is, Gaudi Mutt, I think, he has received, or in Bengali, what version, what language, I don't know. But he also had that Bhagavatam set, then he had given to also Prabhupada. So even while Bhagavad Gita also, they used to refer to Radha Krishna version or some other version, just to refer the actual verse. Then Prabhupada has given the translation and purport, everything from based on the acharyas. So this is the way, by simply following in the footsteps of Prabhupada, we should also take it in that way. So that helps in our devotion practice.
Jai. Wonderful. I think we may wrap up now. We can wrap up. Good. Thank you, dear devotees, for being there and joining there and to share Bodhayanda Parasparam Kadayande Chamam Nityam Tushyandi Jaramandija. This is a great joy and bliss that which we derive from just taking the names of the Lord. So beautiful, so wonderful. So thank you so much. And we will have tomorrow that further on Lord is meeting with the Sugriva and Hanumanji, and then further, killing of Rama, Bali, and then it's so Kishkinda Kand. Tomorrow is pretty much Kishkinda Kand. Then Sundara Kand. Sundara Kand is Hanumanji actually going to the Lanka, and it's so beautiful. And then meeting Mother Sita, and then meeting with, killing at least so much of, warriors there, and burning Lanka, and then coming back and giving the news to the Lord Ram. The Lord Ram preparing the army with the help of Sugriva, and then they are all marching to the, then Sedu Bandhan. They are crossing the ocean and reaching out to the Lanka. That pretty much will cover tomorrow, both the Kishkinda Kand and, part of Sundara Kand, maybe part of Siddha Kand. Let's see how that goes. Then also we are extending this to the Saturday because we need to finish the Uttarakand. Otherwise, our Rama Katha, Rama Leela won't be finished, so complete. So we took a vow that 7 days. So we are hearing these 7 days. So that's also just one more day on Saturday. So we'll also see that the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, and Lord is coming back to the Ayodhya, and then wonderful dealings, and Mother Sita is, Lord Ram leaving Mother Sita to the Valmiki's ashram, and then finally coming back. And then, then further Leva and Kush is coming to the Ayodhya and singing the beautiful Ramayana, and Lord Ram is so impressed and calling out, and then bringing the Leva Kush into the Rajdhani, and then, then Mother Sita is coming. It's so beautiful and so much to learn, so much to understand from all this. So let's take, a couple more days, and then let's understand this all. Then probably next year we can plan more in detail of how we can put this together very nicely. At least we can start with the, at least, the Ramayana, the complete, Ramayana, so that we all get an idea. So thank you so much for everybody for being there and joining. And so anybody has anything to add? Any questions? So tomorrow, our dear Harikishore Prabhu, our Ramadhan Prabhu will be continuing carrying this, and Agilesh Prabhu will be there on Saturday, and so we'll see that how this can be pretty much covering. So please join tomorrow, and there will be a nice section. And I would also humbly request all the devotees from the Bhakti Risha to join, so that this is a rare opportunity. And I feel this is a very, mercy of the Supreme. And I was not intended to extend to the Saturday, but somehow the mercy of the Lord, and I think it came up to the mind that without Uttarakand, the Ramayana is not complete. So, this is all Lord's mercy. One way we can see that. So please be part of, and this is what it is. Lord is always there to serve the devotees. That's the point. So, but we don't want to give trouble to the Lord. But at the same time, we are there to eagerly to serve the Supreme. This is the way we can serve the Supreme with our tan, man, our, Sushma Sharir, all our body. So thank you so much, dear devotees, for being there and very enthusiastically listening and hearing. It's wonderful, and thank all the speakers, Krishna Namananada Prabhuji, Naviginandam Prabhuji, and Madhubati Prabhuji, and Hema Jagannath Prabhu, and Prem Sarovar Radha Madaji, and so wonderfully they're sharing their beautiful pastimes of the Lord Ram and Sasif. We are seeing the Lord Ram in front of us, and this is the perfection. This is the results of it. So thank you so much, and let us conclude here. And we can say that Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai.
Jai.
Siya Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ji ki
Jai.
Vancha Kalpatarubhasya
Suryaschak Pasan
Patidanam
Patidanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Jai.
Vaishnava.
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, sir.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Good
Jai.
praise.
Jai.
Hare
Thank you, Simeshwar Prabhu. Thank you, Krishna Naman Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody.
Krishna.